CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. Grief counselors will be available today at the Calgary High School attended by a 15-year-old killed in an avalanche. It happened Friday afternoon in the Nakiska ski area. Emilio Razdira died in hospital on Saturday. He was with another 15-year-old boy when the avalanche hit. That teen was able to dig himself out. A team of rescuers pulled Razdira unresponsive from the snow. It happened in the Monster Glades area near the Gold Lift. According to Avalanche Canada, the two were boot packing up a slope when they triggered the avalanche. Both teens were athletes with the Alberta Alpine Ski Association. Razdira was also a student at Queen Elizabeth High School. The school says supports are available today for students, including the CBE's Critical Incident Response Team and CBE psychologists. And there's been a deadly avalanche in BC. RCMP say a 23-year-old snowmobiler died after a slide in Kootenay Pass near Creston Saturday afternoon. According to Avalanche Canada, two snowmobilers accidentally triggered a slab slide on a slope under a transmission line. The avalanche danger rating in that area is currently considerable. A northeast condo was evacuated after high carbon monoxide levels were detected. The call came from Saddlestone Way around 8:30 this morning. CO levels were as high as 150 parts per million, and about 70 people were displaced. Nobody was taken to hospital. Calgary Fire believes the rooftop heating unit caused the high levels. One person was injured in an overnight fire in the southwest community of Shaganappi. Shortly after 1 a.m., fire crews responded to a home on 16th Avenue Southwest. When they arrived, two bystanders were performing CPR on a female patient. She was revived and taken to hospital. Firefighters rescued one dog from the home. Another was found dead inside. Investigators are still on the scene trying to determine the cause of the fire. On Sunday, 15 people were assessed for smoke inhalation after fire broke out in a northeast Calgary warehouse. No one was transported to hospital. The fire was spotted around noon, and when firefighters arrived, there was significant smoke coming from the two-story building. No word yet on the cause of the fire. Alberta's premier says the conflict in the Middle East illustrates the need for a new pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast. Speaking at a healthcare announcement this morning in Lethbridge, Danielle Smith said first and foremost, she wants the war to end. The province tabled a budget last week with a $9.4 billion deficit, partly because of falling oil revenue. Today, the price of crude oil is up more than $4 US a barrel.
It just underscores the need for our million-barrel-a-day bitumen pipeline to the West Coast, because if this kind of uncertainty continues, it just demonstrates that the world and our trading partners and allies need to have a stable source of supply, and that's what we are.
The markets are pricing the risk right now. If the strait remains closed for a long time, you'll see that reflected in the price. But as the risk dissipates, it will quickly become a supply and demand calculation again, and that's what led us to our forecast in the first place.
Smith says the province hopes to submit its proposal for the pipeline by June and that it will be approved soon after. Alberta's largest labor organization is set to roll out a series of mass protests across the province this spring in direct opposition to Danielle Smith's UCP government. Union leaders are accusing the premier of overreach and undermining democracy. Mark Villani reports.
Fight back now! Fight back now!
Alberta union members are making their voices heard.
We're committing ourselves to mass protest action because the Smith government has gone rogue.
The Alberta Federation of Labour is pushing back at the UCP government, launching a new Fight Back campaign.
We didn't vote for this.
The group is calling Premier Danielle Smith radical and undemocratic, citing her use of the notwithstanding clause to end a 3-week teacher strike and a referendum this fall that it says unfairly targets immigrants. Members also expressed concerns over an underfunded healthcare system.
They're tired of being told to do more with less. They're tired of being an afterthought to the policymakers.
Some were also critical of plans to pull Alberta out of Canada's pension plan and the RCMP. Others suggesting the province is distracted by separatism.
We're demanding better treatment.
We're demanding a better quality of life. So it's time to take our province back.
It's why the AFL is launching province-wide protests on May 29th, a day to unite healthcare, education, construction, energy, and public service workers against the government.
We are not doing it for ourselves. We are doing it for our generation. We are doing it for the generation that will come.
Premier Danielle Smith's office responded to the AFL president, saying first Gill attempted to launch a general strike and it was a failure. Then he moved on to Plan B, launching recalls against our UCP MLAs. He again failed miserably. Now Gill is on to Plan C, a province-wide protest, and just like his previous ploys and his NDP leadership campaign, I expect it to be a colossal failure. But those words won't stop this group.
They want to divide us and keep us weak. But that's not what we're going to do.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The old YWCA building in the Beltline could soon have a new lease on life after being closed down since last September. The Arusha Centre stepped up to make a bid today to see the old Y restored and supported. The social development charity wants the building to be a community centre. The building housed the YWCA from 1911 to 1971, after which it housed various non-profit organizations. The city is now putting $1 million toward restoration. Supporters say the building is badly needed to help support the surrounding communities.
Calgarians are living through a real affordability crisis. Housing shortages, rising food costs, and stagnant wages are a reality for our community, and the nonprofit sector is under strain all across our city and province. The organizations that made a home in the Old Y are the backbone of our communities.
More than 100 community groups were in the building when it was shut down last year due to high maintenance costs. The World Cup of Hockey is returning in 2028, and Alberta hopes to host it. The NHL says the excitement surrounding last year's Four Nations face-off convinced them to bring back the World Cup of Hockey. This morning, the Premier confirms the province has provided $15 million for the bid process. If successful, the games will be played in Calgary and Edmonton. The International Best on Best tournament will take place in February of 2028 and feature 8 national hockey teams. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnewscalgary.ca.